Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 290 and we are still playing in Magical Worlds. I wanted to try to do as much on this pumpkin this week, being that this is sort of Halloween week. And I'm going to use non-standard colors for the pumpkin with the Polychromos 120 set. I have picked a range of purples. That is going to be the color of my main pumpkin. That will start us all off. I have no idea if I will finish the whole thing, but I would like to finish the front of the pumpkin in the range of 5 purples that actually starts with dark indigo. So I want to get started because I know that this will take up, I'm sure, the whole time. I am going to share with you the pencils first and then we'll zoom in. Going light to dark, the lightest is the violet, 138. You will see that I do have my numbers. They are brother labels trimmed down and then covered with Scotch tape, and they are approximately at least 6 years old. Yeah, they've been on for a very long time. I will say these are not the color range that I use a lot, except the dark indigo. I do use the dark indigo a lot. So we have 122 violet, 136 purple violet, 137 blue violet. Then we go into Delft blue 141 and 157 dark indigo. I think for today, I haven't really sharpened these. This actually has never been sharpened. And I'm going to start with the middle tone to establish the base color, and then from there I will move out to my brights and my darks. So I'm going to zoom in pretty close here so you can see everything I am doing. I'm probably going to color at an angle. Again, I am left-handed, so my angle that I like to work at, we're going to start in the top front, probably these 3 sections, and go around the circular window over the door, and we will just see how far we get. Delft blue is the middle tone. We're going to see my camera has been having a little bit of it gets too bright, like overexposed. So we're just going to see how it goes. Now, my direction, I will be going in the direction of each segment of the pumpkin. If you look at pumpkins and squash, they have a sort of grain to them that tends to be vertical. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I can go ahead and go all the way into what will become my shadow areas, and then I'm going to soften as I get out to where will be my lighter areas. I did do a pretty decent mock-up of the pumpkin coloring, knowing that the copy paper will be very different than how this paper reacts. So today was I guess I would call it a medical day. I guess it was more than medical. I worked on our insurance policies today. Something I have been putting off since we moved here. So I would love to be able to, if I was working on a piece of paper for coloring, I would be rotating. I might even try. Let's see if I can do a little bit. I want to rotate. And I can rotate you so that you get to see it upright more correctly than I'm going to be able to see it. That works. And this way I can come across here and keep my angles. See, and now I'm getting a little bit darker coverage because the tip has rotated. So we have a finer part of the tip showing or presenting itself to the paper. And I am using very soft pressure. I will be able to smooth all of this out. I have a vision of what I want this to look like in the end. I'm using a new piece of equipment for the lighting and for the holding of the camera. So we'll see how that all goes. So with the whole medical day, I am very, very glad that I now color, because it was pretty stressful, as all medical stuff is. And it wasn't my own medical stuff. It was my mom just trying to get everything moved here was really frustrating for me back in the day. And now she's trying to go through and get all of her medical records moved, and it is a chore. So I helped with some documentation, because now that the documents, the one medical center says they didn't receive the notification of having these records sent, and they have an appointment coming up early November. So now everything is urgent. I pretty much think all of these doctors' offices work on an urgent basis, because I had the exact same thing happen with the same medical clinic back in Washington State. So I helped her with that. Didn't find any good insurance. There's just no good insurance here in Florida. That's all there is to it. All right. And this is where, if you had a really light Copic marker, doing a base in this very lightest color would not be a bad idea. I have the spine under my arm, so that is something I am working with. All right, I'm switching. I am going one lighter. So I'm going to work with the Purple Violet 136. So glad I have those labels. We are going to be going from a very dark blue into a purple, and then into a violet. This is a purple violet, so it has a pink tone to it. So I do want to mix the colors somewhat between the blue and the violet. So I will say, when we renewed, we used Progressive for our trailer, and we were able to, the trailer is finally, it's over 5 years old now, so I switched our insurance. This was the big chore of the day. I'd been putting it off, and it needed to be done because November 5th is when it renews, and I ended up not being able to have success online with Progressive. A tip is that I use an agency that specializes in RV insurance, and they were able, I just told them what I was trying to do on the, she says, I can see that you were on doing a quote. I said yes, and I could not, I knew what I was doing should drop the amount, but I just could not get the amount to drop. And so she says, oh yeah, you have to do it in 2 steps. And you really need to use us for doing that to be able to get the results, because I guess it's a common thing for people to want to do what we're doing with our trailer at this point in its life. All right, so I can see a layer of the bluish color with an overlay of this violet color. And that is what I want for my base. And now I'm going to switch to an even lighter color toward this middle here. And the lightest color I've got is Violet 138. So that was pleasing that we did achieve what we wanted, and I did get it in the ballpark of the amount that I felt was fair. So that was nice. And I didn't have to do a lot of adjusting the features. So that was good. I just was not impressed that their online tool, they want to have you use their online tools, but the online tools don't do all these customizations very well. So that is the lightest color. And going darker now. So I'm going to start working out in the outer edges. I'll work on this side first, and then I need to shift my angle. The Polychromos are a light layering oil-based pencil. I know there are folks who can get them to behave nicely with just a heavy layering approach, and I have never used them that way. And I'm not in a hurry. I had a very stressful day. Not a phone call person. I don't know about you guys, but phone calls are not my friend. I avoid having to do those kind of phone calls all that I can. And so, did I say this is Delft Blue? This is Delft Blue. So it is the fourth darkest. And I am going to, I want some darkening around the vines and some darkening around this cute little leafy thing that I'm going to make green. This little, it's probably a little bump out. I don't know what they're called. When they're in the roof and they bump out an X to give you extra space. It's one of those, whatever that is. Is it called a dormer? I'm thinking it's a dormer. We've never had a house with dormers. So stressful, and that is why here I am relaxing with you guys coloring, and I am so glad that I have coloring to look forward to when I get through with a stressful day like today. I will say I went with a just called Progressive and found out that calling their 800 number is not really, the best option, although you get an extra 5% off if you go through them direct and don't use an agency. But the agency person that doesn't do our RV, it's just a close person here in my area where I live. Which I found out they don't do homeowners insurance, so we can't really count on that for a discount. But he did give me a couple of tips looking at my policy that I have with my same insurance agent I've had my entire life. So I'm not one that goes out insurance shopping ever, which is probably why it's extra stressful. Okay, we're ready to just get a glimpse at this dark. The darkest is dark indigo. That is my shadow color. I just bumped this, so let's make it be still. I am going to go ahead. I did not start this side. I did start this other side, but haven't done any darks over there yet. Again, these are pretty quiet. They are silky. They really love a smooth paper. I have always had good luck with Bristol Smooth Strathmore 300. That's what I've used them on the most, and they are lovely on a material called drafting film, graphics drafting film. Again, I'm doing a really light layering of a little bit of the blue. Not rushing it. I have curtains. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 windows with curtains, and I am already brainstorming my different options, and I can't wait to spend some time mocking up what I want. It's going to be the same curtains in all 5 windows. So I just have to come up with like a little color scheme for them. I do have to, I'm going to go back darker, one lighter, back to Delft blue. So what I'm seeing on my angle here that I have is that I'm starting to fill in the tooth. There's some little areas here that the tooth isn't filling in, but I can start to feel it have that somewhat slick, burnished feeling. I'm going to leave that like it is now. I will come in with this Delft blue down here. I need to soften that line, but I have a different color for that. And that color is blue violet. Just doing ovals, pretty light layers, over and over and over until I like what I am seeing. I now have to match that other side. Now we're going one lighter to purple violet. Let's see, how far down have I gone that you haven't seen? I think that far. I didn't realize I was going so far off the screen. I apologize for that. So, little ovals. This should brighten everything up a little bit. It has the violet in it. Before I switch to the other side, I want to go in with my dark indigo. I am now using medium-ish, a little more than medium, 60% pressure. It was a lovely, coolish, overcast day. I went to a new exercise class I've never gone to. I didn't know if the 9 a.m. Zumba class was going to happen, but I did know as a backup, if I did ride my bike there, that there is a half-hour low-impact class, and I really enjoyed it. It was very nice. Getting some little tiny ovals into these cracks, each of the 5 cracks. And let's go ahead and darken this right here. Now, we're going to rotate. And I will rotate you as well. Okay, I think that looks good. Back to lighter layers. See, I already started right up here. You could see I was, hand was too close, went too heavy too fast. This is the dark indigo still. Soft pressure. That's what I'm shooting for there. Yeah, I think this would be great if I could finish this in 4 sittings, but I am sure I can finish bits and pieces in 4 days and then go back for homework and finish up maybe all the outer area items. We'll just see. And then by Sunday, I should be able to have it finished. I am going to start going up from dark to light. We're now on the 4th darkest color, Delft Blue 141. Still trying to keep the pressure light to medium at this point. I've just always wanted to color a purple pumpkin, and here is my opportunity. Moving one lighter. Blue Violet 137. Now I'm already starting to compare the sides. I have to build this one up more. I'm doing heavier pressure now. All right, now we need to bring in our violet colors. So we have purple violet 136. And more quiet again, focusing. lightest color. Look at that front. Lightest color being Violet 138. So I did have, very close by here, my did not have that very centered the whole time, did I? The kneaded eraser. It's the Faber-Castell. That is my favorite. And I keep it in this nice container. It's just a small piece. I think it's a half of a piece left. And I can do some really soft, this picks up so easy. So I can go back and forth and even up the highlighting. I highly recommend one of these erasers if you have not ever tried one. They are really fun. So you can get some nice modeling effects. So I hope you can see how I evened up the transitions to the lightest shades from one side to the other, and I can even go up. And I am barely touching it. Now I'm going to slide all of that down. I could still do one, I could go darker. Let's get the right side as dark as the left with the indigo, dark indigo 157. This is going to be medium, a little more than medium pressure. And then I will be coming right back to brighten this up with the Delft blue. Trying really hard to keep my hand and knuckle out of the way. These leaves I actually want to have be, you know, somewhat in shadow. So this is all medium to heavy right in here, and I will come back and brighten it up. So interesting using these without worrying about the tips being super sharp. They work really nicely. Let's soften all those. I'm going to now grab that Delft blue right here. If you guys do not have Polychromos pencils and you are curious, there are conversion charts. My favorite being My Colorful Country Life. She has a 12 set comparison chart that is a monster. I have it actually printed out. And I went ahead and printed it out in color, but you can get a blank one and fill in the colors yourself for those sets that you own. And that way you will have a high probability that a set that you own might be on that chart. She does a good job of balancing a few of the expensive sets with some of the budget sets, as well as some mid price point sets. All right, so I am ready. I have that looking pretty even on my screen, and I see that on my, I'm not looking through a screen, sorry, just looking directly, and both sides look pretty even to me. And I see that on your screen you do see the same area that I am looking at. This again is the Delft blue. So pumpkins often have imperfections. So if you get any little weird streaking or some little dots from imperfections in the paper, don't sweat it. It just makes it look more real. Even though we know there is no such thing as a purple pumpkin. Okay, so now back to starting our rotation, and I should, let's see, where are we at? Yeah, I should be able to finish, which was my goal, was to finish this front section. Hub did me a great favor. I didn't even ask him to do it. So we've been unloading our boxes. They're bins. His stuff is all unloaded. And then I had boxes scattered throughout the house for the different areas, but we finally got it down to a manageable number. And I really was starting to find it too scattered to be really organized about putting everything away. And look at me, I am coloring below where you're at. There we go. Sorry about that. And so while I was working out, he was working on some home chores. He works on the trail. He's trying to keep with a schedule. And today he designated as a work from home day. There's never a day that you have a work from home day and there's nothing to do. And he cleaned up, which was so lovely. Now all the boxes are in the other room, our guest room, and we will pull out the boxes one at a time so it's not so overwhelming. We just really brought home a lot. Getting some of these shadows blocked in. Now this side you'll see is totally different, which is nice. So you don't really have to match both sides because of the variation. Where the top, this top up here, I had to do a close enough match, and I still think that looks pretty good. Nope, that needs to get filled in right there. I did peek at the voting for pencil sets. Black Widow is winning. Spoiler alert. That's what, if I had to just pick which ones that I would like to use of the three, they were my choice. I think it's a nice large image and they will be very vibrant and fun to play with on a big page. I don't know that I have done that large of a page yet with those. Okay, so I've got that nice and blocked in. I'm going to come over here and maybe do a little bit more. And again, I'm trying to keep my hand out of the picture. I would normally want to rotate now, but I'm trying to not have to do that. That's the, oh, see, and then it all cleared up. I'm glad I caught that. That right side seems to be my nemesis. Okay, next, going one lighter. Delft blue. This is the prettiest purple, even though it's called blue. Oops. Ugh. I'm still holding all of these pencils. Let's change the angle for you. Okay, we are at 45 minutes. I'm going to go do one lighter. This is going to have so much shadowy area on either side that it's not going to be very light. In real life, it would not be all that light. We need to bring some of that violet in the middle lightest, so we can brighten that up. I am going to grab it. That is Purple Violet, 136. And then I think we will call this done for the day. We're going to resume this tomorrow. Again, we'll probably be working on this Monday through Thursday. And then maybe I will finish it up. We'll take a break and move on. Maybe I'm ready to move off of this new magical worlds and start one of the other books. Can't believe I'm actually coloring in 3 books now, 2 of them full-sized. What a sense of accomplishment. I just had to do it. This side is lighter than the other side. The lightest color, I want to get a nice glaze of this lightest. This is called Violet, right? Yep, Violet, 138. I can see now I need to come back with the darks. I will not do that though, because we are past time. I appreciate you stopping by today. Welcome back if you are returning. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing, and I hope to see you all here tomorrow. Take care.